Hey you, why don't you click this video? I will show you a method to do this without any programming experience.
Hey, listen here, if you click that video, you will learn to make games without programming.
Are you a beginner? You don't need to learn coding.
How to create video games without coding. How to create a video game without writing a single line of code. Creating games is easy with these game engines that don't require any code experience. How many times did you hear something like this? And here comes another question. Is programming so difficult? Well, in this video I will tell you why should you learn programming for video games. But first, welcome to niftyDuck. Tom here. If you don't know who am I'm a solo game developer and I'm currently making a mobile game called Stereo Guys. But I also made other games. Now let's start with the first advantage of coding, the freedom. If you make a game with coding, you will be able to make everything you want. The only limit is your mind. With coding, you will be able to make your own gameplay mechanism. But if you make one with a game engine that doesn't require coding, you won't be able to think out of the skins. And you will have a lot of limits. So if you want to start game development, I recommend you a game engine like Unity or Unreal Engine or something else that requires code. I advise you Unity because I think it's the most used by developers, so you will find a lot of tutorials. I will also make new tutorials in some days about the absolute basis of Unity and C#. You will watch them, right? The second advantage is that coding is transferable. What does it mean? I'll explain it better with an example. If you're using a game engine that doesn't require programming, you will have to learn all the interface commands and all the functions to make a game. That's great! Now you know how to make games without programming. But if you want to change game engine, you will have to learn all new functions, all new things that you need to make a game with that software. Or you can learn a programming language and all its functionalities. And if you decide to change game engine, you will still have to learn new interface commands. But I'm sure that if you learn a programming language, you will be already up the half of the work. For example, if you are using Unreal Engine that uses the C++ language and you pass to Unity that uses the C#1, it will be easier to learn things. And here comes the third advantage, the intuition. Different languages have some different syntaxes, but the way to think is the same. I think coding is a philosophy. In all languages you have to think like a computer and not like a human. If you are able to do that, you will learn new programming languages easily. The last advantage of coding for video games is code runs better. If you are making a game with a game engine with no programming requirement, it will prepare you all the tools to make your game, but all these multiple tools will slow down your game performance. And that's because game engines developers make them with all possible tools for other game developers. I know, this happens in game engines with programming too, but less than no-code ones. I think the best solution is to create games from scratch, but it's too difficult and not a lot of people do it. I recommend you to learn programming because you will have a lot of new opportunities. These were, in conclusion, the advantages of coding for video games, in my opinion. Do you want to start programming? I will create new tutorials in these weeks about Unity and C#, so if you want to learn new things, subscribe and click the bell to get notifications, and let's see us to the next video. Bye from niftyDuck.